Yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
We are
Oh,
live. Oh my goodness.
wow.
Okay, hello.
Hey.
I'm Sherry Reichert-Ballou. I am a certified high performance coach and author of Say It Now. And what a treat everyone is in for, whoever's here listening now or later, because Folake, just in the 3 minutes before we even went live, I learned so much from you. So welcome, Folake.
Thank you much. Let me say thank you again because I remember the first time we met, I got a shirt and it said, "Bring the joy." You remember that?
I do remember that. Of course I do, because you know what? You are just the face of joy. You
Thank you.
are. You are. And I'm, first of all, let me just give a little bit of an introduction and then you can help me out some more. But you are, of course, also a certified high performance coach, which is why we're here right now, sort of mainly. You are an emergency doctor, right?
Correct.
You're a single mom
Yes.
and a grandma.
Yes.
And I missed something else in there. Just an all around awesome person, I think. Is that right?
Absolutely.
You are one of the most joyful people I know. And I'm so happy that we have this time.
I am too because, these one-on-ones we're having, isn't it amazing that if not for COVID, we'll be jumping from seminar to seminar?
I know. The last time I saw you was at, where were,
San Diego,
the last time, I mean, like, just think about that.
February.
I know, right?
Right.
Okay, Folake, there's so many things I want you to say because you have so much to share. Can we start with what you said to me when I said, I don't even know how we got there, but you were talking about how you are obviously so unique, right? I mean, the fact that you're a certified high performance coach, as well as a doctor, and also someone who just is such an advocate for joy. You read me something that sort of encapsulated all of that.
I said that I mentor and I coach people, and what that person gets is this: they will discover authenticity. They will mask the 5 key areas of their lives in order to experience living every day transformed. I'm the poster child for what I just said.
Go on. Yeah.
Because I used to want to fit in so bad, so I would show up not authentic because you can't be what you're not.
Yeah.
And when I discovered authenticity and just took the mask off, I became me, like off the chart me.
Well, what I just want to say is my experience is exactly that of you. Like I told you this before we got started, but I want to say it again. Like whenever we're in a room, we know where you are, right? Because your joy is just lighting up wherever you are. It's like a neon sign, right? And you're willing to to me it's like you're willing to be alive in a way that I don't see that much.
I think that for me, being alive is okay. 2004 was a pivotal year for me because 2004 was when I had thyroid cancer, and when I realized that I could die, I made up my mind that I was going to live every single day. That's why at the end of that first statement I gave, it's living every day transformed. Just like, each of us has in us the potential to be a butterfly. But when we're in the larva stage or the caterpillar stage, crawling and everything, we think that, oh my God, look at the butterflies. We are butterflies, but we got to go through process.
Oh,
Knowing, like,
yes.
if someone attempts to help us faster than the pace we're
Yes.
supposed to go, we die. We have to go through the pain of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. I really do know what you mean. And I think that's such the perfect metaphor, right?
Yeah.
Because it is a process, and part of that process is kind of a gooey mess, right? Like I always like to think about that part. So, yeah, so 2004, I didn't know this about you. I didn't know this about you. 2004,
Mm-hmm.
you had cancer.
Well, 2004 started with February. I got divorced, and even though it was a nasty divorce, on the day that I got divorced, I felt empty. It was like because I was married. When I got divorced, I expected to have a yes, I'm happy, and I went like whoosh.
Huh.
And then the next month, I discovered I had cancer. So it was like a roller coaster for me. But
Wow.
I learned this. I learned that inside of me was joy. And even though I was a joyful person at the time, I learned that if I squeezed the joy out of me and let it go everywhere, no matter how bad it was, I would win. I was the contagion. I was the virus. My virus was joy. You know what I mean? Like my joy overtook everything. So no matter what I go through, I squeeze that joy out. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So anywhere I go, I live. It's like I live the devastation of joy.
Folake, let me ask you, how did you get to that point? Like you obviously are so clear, and I know that that's how you live. But what led you there to be able to squeeze that joy out all the time?
Because my youngest son was I can't remember, probably 5 or 6, and I was terrified. I was like, man, I can't die. I simply can't. I got 4 children of my own. My oldest was not even 16. I was like, no, I'm not dying. If if just for me to raise these kids
Wow.
and help them get to their next level, I'm not dying. I'm like, God, whatever you're gonna do, just do it. But in the but in the process, I was terrified, and I realized the antidote to fear is joy.
Wow.
Because when you're joyful, I don't have to express it. When you're joyful, it gives you the like the turbo engine, the turbo, like a race car inside a little bitty old car, and it just revs you up. You cannot you cannot break the spirit of a joyful person. You can't.
That is
You know
so
what I'm saying?
powerful.
Yeah, you cannot break the spirit of a joyful
You
person.
can't, right?
Nah. It's the best weapon against any and everything.
And you know what? This is the perfect conversation to be having right now, right?
Correct.
Because just as we were starting to say a little bit before we went live, there's there's so much fear. And what were you? Tell me what you were saying again, because I really want to get that.
You know, fear is a virus, bad virus. I've never experienced anxiety and fear as much as I have going to work. That's because at first, we didn't even have a clue that this virus was going to come to America. We thought it was going to stay somewhere else. So for me, the fact that we didn't know, and then it's just, I mean, like the last time I flew was the 2nd of March. I had gone to HPX in February,
Yeah.
flew back from HPX on the last Sunday in February, flew to Louisville, Kentucky, worked, flew back home to Arkansas, then flew back to Maryland, and then flew back to Louisville because that's my life. I lived in airports, airplanes, seminars, work. That was all I did. I just was, a travel junkie. And
Wow.
and when the virus was at its peak in March, I mean, I would get sweaty palms. Then I realized, wait a minute, girlfriend. No, 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 no. COVID is not the issue. Fear is the issue because regardless of COVID, if fear comes in, it's over.
Wow.
And I realized as a physician, I am the pulse and the heartbeat of my team when I go to work. Without speaking, I can infect my team.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
decided I was going to infect them with the virus of joy. You know what I mean? Like we had to wear masks, we had to get our temperature taken, we had to put the PPE, the whole 9 yards. And in the process, because I did videos fairly maybe every day or every other day, something like that, I discovered the real mask was not the mask for COVID, but the mask on the mind.
Go on. I want to hear this.
So, so
Yeah.
I'm doing my videos and I heard myself say, you don't just need a mask for COVID, you need to mask your mind. M for motivation, A for affirmation, S for sleep, and K for kindness to yourself and others. I said it one time, that's the next thing I know, I said it again, and I said it again, and then I said it so much that I believed it, and I found myself meditating more every single day. The days I fail to meditate, when I go to work, I can tell. I have to go to the restroom and do it like a 5 minute,
Yeah.
meditation because it was kind of funny that before COVID, I had gone to the HPX experience with Brenda Bouchard. Before that, I had gone to the mastermind in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So I had got my inoculation of joy and tools that I was going to put in my shelf. There's something called shelf leadership. You know what I mean? All the things is in the shelf. But COVID-19 helped me take my shelf leadership to self leadership by helping me change the H, which was my habits.
You are amazing. I love your
You,
frameworks.
you know what I mean?
I
Because
do.
because oftentimes I'm one of these junkies. I have all this stuff,
Yeah.
but I wasn't using it. I was just going to the next gig. I like my phone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But with COVID, there was no conference to go to. I had to be squeezed and everything came out.
This is amazing.
You know what I mean? It's almost like
Yes.
I have been over prepared all this time, but when the time came, there was no dress rehearsal. It was like, cut, let's go, boom. And so for me, I'm glad for the time I invested.
Yes.
That's why, the Girl Scout motto is be prepared.
Yes.
And absolutely, I was prepared without knowing I was.
So, Falake, let me ask you something. I'm hearing that you've really you're so whole right now, right? Like it just sounds like you're so whole that you walk into that hospital and you're a physician, but you're also a coach, right?
Right.
You're bringing all of this plus you're like I don't know what to call the happiness part, but you're like the joy bringer as well. It's like
Yeah.
these parts of you are all completely alive right now. Is that
Yeah,
right?
they aligned. And the amazing part is I see things with the end in mind. Like the end in mind.
Yeah.
Which was not so a few years back. And why do I say that? It's like even with everything going on in the world now and in the country, I realize that the voices that need to be loudest is the voices of people that have joy in themselves first. Because no matter what we face as a nation, without the oil of joy,
Yeah.
it's not going to work because joy just is like lubricating all the joints of a car
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
smooth ride. Because when there's joy, even the difficult conversations are easier because when we can look in each other's eyes joyfully, then it makes a difference. But anger and resentment and all that, those are negative energies that suck life out of people. And you can't have a fruitful conversation even about anything. Anything. You can't have negativity and out of it birth positivity. It's impossible.
This is I'm bowing down to you right now. What you're saying, I feel like, is so important. It's so important, right? It's the thing that is going to help us first of all come together, right? Like I think because it's like you're saying, I mean it's a lubricant in that way too. It brings us together, but it's also like you just pointed out, it's where the real fruitful conversations will come from.
Correct.
And that's why I wanted to have you here to talk to you. And I'm so happy. Like, that was exactly like without even knowing what you were going to talk about, I
Yes.
knew that that's what you would bring us because that's who you are.
Correct. Like for instance, I was born in England. I'm Nigerian. I live in rural Arkansas. I'm a physician. I'm second generation physician. So the way I see life is from my perspective.
Yeah.
And I must say that because I'm an immigrant, I see it different. That doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. It's
Right.
just different. And I think that one of the things I had to come to terms with was I have to use my voice to speak truth. And I have to admit that I didn't quite understand a whole lot of things because my dad was Baptist. So even when I was in Africa, I didn't have to go through things that most people went through. So I
Uh-huh.
don't know. But now I'm realizing that it's both a privilege and a responsibility for me to use my voice
Oh.
for people whose voice will not be heard. However, when I say that, I have to think of the big picture. We're all in this boat together.
Mm.
Everybody. Me, as an immigrant, people who are born here, people who are still coming, white or black, we're in the same boat. Why do I say that? We have one single race, Homo sapiens, human being. If you ever go to a wedding, I don't care if it's Hispanic, Nigerian, whatever, the dad never thinks the groom is good enough for his daughter. They never do. Why? Because they have a high expectation for their daughter.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when a baby is born, I don't care where the baby is born in America. I don't care whatever ethnicity it is. Everybody is drawn to the baby. Why? Because we're human. And I want us, it's almost like we have dehumanized ourselves and we are emphasizing our differences more than our similarities. Is there injustice? Absolutely. Was it wrong? Yes. Can we change it? Only if we, each of us, when I say each, me, you, and everybody has to change. Everybody. You know what I mean? Because thinking that only a few can change the whole,
Yes.
come on now. If you stub your toe, your whole body is going to be on the ground. Let's think of it. You can't stub your toe and say, oh, yeah, it's just my toe. Honey, the little parts hurt the worst. And so for me, my perspective is here's the deal. Every voice needs to be heard.
Yeah.
Because when people are heard, then people listen to the other party. When each of us has been heard at the table, then we can listen to ideas and figure how to make the ideas work. Because here's the deal, unless we buy into one another, we're not going to be able to change. Like I tell black folk, I'm like, this ain't going to change because there's not enough black folk in America to change anything. Numbers game. And I tell my friends who are not black, I'm like, y'all need to do some history. Does that change my relationship with people? No, because I'm a physician. Where I work, I am the minority. Matter of fact, where I live in Greenbrier, I'm the 2%. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I have a unique perspective because my whole life, I have lived on 3 continents my whole life. Little kid born in Europe, grew up in Nigeria. I've lived in the United States since 1986. I live in rural communities. So I understand that there is racism. Yes, there is. The question is, racism is a cancer, right? I had cancer in 2004. I do not have a thyroid. They had to take it out so that I didn't die from thyroid cancer. Racism is thyroid cancer in America. In order for us to take it out, there has to be surgery. Then there has to be medication. There has to be recovery.
Wow.
Will there be losses? Of course. And each of us is going to have to take a loss in our idea or our positioning, because if we don't, then it's not going to work. I mean, it's not. And you know, and the hardest thing for me to understand is like, I get it. I get the hurt. But if we allow joy, joy is not happiness. Happiness is an external thing. Joy is an internal thing. That's why the mask is a way of bringing the joy. When you meditate, you release toxic stuff. And then you're able to allow, as you meditate and get into the practice, you're able to allow things to come in to generate that joy in you. Because everybody has joy in them. The question is it extinguished and needs to be rekindled, or should it be revved up? Because this is how I know people have joy. When something really shakes them emotionally, oh my goodness, even the most quiet person just goes like, yeah, like, you know, what happened? Because it's in each of us.
Yeah.
It's just that some people like me, I don't even need anything to make me joyful. Sometimes I just go, I'm happy. Like before this, it was a little hard day, so I went walking and I was dancing on the street and, you know, doing my little thing, and people were looking at me, you know, behind my hotel. I was like, I got a call, so I got to bring the joy, you know. I mean, when I dance, dancing brings joy for me. I don't need a drug or alcohol. I just need to go out and dance, and when I'm dancing, it's on. And I really think that because everywhere I've worked, and I get it, there are people who have never had a black person touch them, so they're kind of skeptical. But you know the funny part? People want to live so much, they want to be alive, right?
Yeah.
So they walk in a room and their eyes go this away. But by the time I'm done with them, they're like, do you have a clinic? I'm like, yeah, they felt the joy. They felt the joy. Joy is colorless, raceless.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Joy is joy. Joy makes people feel comfortable even when they're in distress.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so for me, I asked myself, I said, you know what? I will make sure that I have processed things before I talk about race, because I am solution and not the problem. Am I making sense?
You are making so much sense. In fact, I want to say Linda just said she loves listening to you.
Oh,
And
thank you, Linda.
Linda, hello, hello. Mwah.
You
Yeah,
know,
you're making
because
perfect sense.
I have to be the solution. I have to be the light.
Mm.
Each of us is light. Here's how I see it. Some of us, when we leave the room, that's when the light comes. When we leave the room is when
Wow.
light comes. And some of us, we bring the light into the room. The question is, which light would you like to be? You know what I mean? Because I look at it and I'm like, no matter where there's darkness, if you light a match, there is light where the match is. Am I making sense? And so for me,
Yeah.
I'm like, we need each other. We need each other. You're my sister.
I just,
Like, I mean, everybody has to have a heart and a brain to survive. You don't have to have kidneys, they can put you on a machine. But your heart has to be pumping and your brain has to be alive. You don't have to have arms and legs. There are people not born without arms and legs and they make it. But the heart and the head has to be there. You have to think and listen with your heart and act with your head. Because if you listen to your heart when you're supposed to act, you're like, oh, you can do that. But when you listen with your heart, not what other people have said to you,
yeah.
unplug your ears. Discard what your mama said. Your mama was wrong. Your dad was wrong. Your uncle, auntie. Listen to that thing in your heart. Because when you listen to your heart, it's just like anytime you're in a relationship with anyone, any kind of relationship, and something goes wrong, here's what most people say: I knew it. Where did they know it? In their heart. In their head, it looked right. It looked like a good thing to do, logically, but their intuition was like, no, no, not no. And every time we fail to listen to our intuition, our heart, everything goes wrong. If we would listen to our heart, truly listen to our heart and not kill the voice of our heart, we will make things better. My goal is to help people discover authenticity. Who are you? Not what people think you are. In your heart, when you're on your pillow and you're trying to close your eyes and you can't because your heart is saying, you ain't right. You've been doing wrong stuff all day. You know what I mean?
I
When
do.
your heart tells you you've been wrong, you should have said this, you shouldn't have said that. And so for me, I'm like, you know what? If I'm learning that lesson, means other people need that lesson. They need to discover authenticity. Authenticity means you're for real. You're for real, COVID or no COVID.
Yes.
You're for real, race or no race. You're for real, you're a police officer, you're a doctor, you sweep the floor, you're president, whatever you are, you're for real. You have a heart. Because if we did stuff from our heart, I don't think we'll have this problem. And if we don't start doing it from our heart, we're just going to destroy ourselves. Because when we think with our heart, and our heart directs our head to do the right thing. I am. I think I posted somewhere and I said on a page and I said the person said, "What is love?" I said, "Love is me being the voice for truth,
Wow.
even if it's going to cost me everything as I know it." I know that, like I speak now, I know that some of my friends or acquaintances or probably family members think that I'm selling out on both sides. My friends with my wife think, oh, so we can't be friends with you now? I'm like, honey, I've always been this color. I didn't choose my color. And then some of my black friends are like, you sold out. And I'm like, I know each of us has 5 areas in our lives. We were made by God. Whatever you call God is your business. You cannot be on this planet without being designed by the grand overall designer, God. So he is the creator of everything, and every creativity we have is in him and through him. The more spiritual we are, however we define spirituality, the more creative we become.
Mm.
And the truth of the matter is this: no matter what you subscribe to, when you meditate and connect, it is impossible for you to meditate and connect and hate your brother. It doesn't matter whether you call yourself whatever. And it's the truth. The more I connect through meditation, the less I see the difference in you and me.
Wow.
You
That
know,
is
you see what I'm talking about? And so I look at people, I'm like, oh, y'all are trifling. You just all are trifling. Because if you really know there was a God, if you know that you have a date with death, and you don't know how much you have in the bank of life, I think you'll do stuff differently. Because in 2004, I had young children and I was terrified. And I asked God, don't let me die. And I didn't. And now my youngest child is already 21.
oh.
And I asked myself, I'm like, okay, what you gonna do next with your life? You're not raising any kids. You ain't married. What are you gonna do? And I said, I'm gonna be a coach. That's why I'm on this journey. Am I terrified? Yes, because I've been a doctor my whole life almost. I've been a doctor since 1985. Was that 30 something years? So I know it backwards, forward, and this space is totally new. The rules are different, although they're the same. But I have to learn opt in, opt out. Like, what's that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like Facebook Lives. Then they're like call to action. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, but but I I I decided the last 3 days that I need to play full on like I did 17 or 18 years ago when I thought I was going to die. I need
Wow.
to have that, almost like Brendan says. I have my his 3 words. I don't have 3 words. I have 3 sentences or 3 phrases. Discover authenticity, mask the 5 key areas of your life, live every day transformed.
Folake, you're amazing. I knew this was going to be amazing, but I really didn't quite know. Like I feel as if you need a church. Like I feel like I just went to one of the best churches ever. You know, the Church of Joy, the Church
Yeah.
of Connection, the Church of Love. Like that's what to me what you're talking about, and I can't wait, to share this more with people because what you're talking about to me is true. And like you said, you can call it whatever you want. I don't care what you call, your spirituality, but you're pointing to like the real essence of who we are and that we're here to love, and we're here to love ourselves and our lives and other people, and to, like you said, transform.
Yes. And the thing that struck me, I was reading my Bible. I used to read my Bible as a kid, but I never quite read through because I'm always COVID just helped me. So I this year decided to read my Bible, and then COVID helped me. So I don't have anything to do. I got to read the Bible. I guess I'm not going anywhere. And one day I was reading, and a sentence said, "Let not your heart be troubled.
Mm.
You believe in God, believe also in me." That was Jesus talking. He said, "In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, there you will be also. But this is what I heard. LET, I heard living every day transformed. Let. And I heard let go of all the stuff in your head that is not working. That your mama said, your papa said, your church said, the white folks said, the blue folks said, the black folks said, Republicans said, Democrats said, Libertarian, whatever. You know what I mean? Let go of it. Just let go. Then let God, who is the grand overall designer, then let my people grow. Because if you and I are doing what we did when we were 16 and we're not 16, come on now. We got to grow up. And grown people face issues square on,
Yes.
right or wrong, pros and cons, and do the best thing, even if it hurts.
Wow.
That's what grown people do. Kids bicker, fight, and say, my dad's gonna whoop you. My mom don't do that. Adults take responsibility, the ability to respond, not react. You know what I mean? And when I heard it that day, I bought the what they call it, the
Oh,
www.livingeveryday.com. I bought it and I was like, oh my gosh! And you know what? My birthday is August 19th, and the community I want to create is a community where, like my church, maybe I will teach people as I'm learning to say, look, you gotta let go. You gotta let God, and you gotta let people grow. The first person you gotta let grow is yourself. Mind your business. Your business, not somebody else's. Like my brain is in my head and your brain is in your head. My brain cannot direct your body. Your brain cannot direct mine. You know what I'm saying? But we try to use our brain to direct somebody else's life and business. And then we leave ours because the brain can only work on one life at a time.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's so simple. It's so simple, but we complicate it. Like, I have the best time. Yes, sometimes, I mean, everybody has shared. I mean, that's just the way it is. Everybody does. I'm not perfect. Some days I don't feel like doing anything. I'm like, screw all that and all that. But my core is like, girl, because almost like I have someone on this side or someone on this side. But it is the one I feed that directs my life. So I do not watch television as a rule. And if I go on Facebook on the wrong side of Facebook or any of the social media, and if I went on the wrong side and I came on this call, I would be spewing out all these theories and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't, because I'm like, no, I feel bad when I do that stuff.
Yes.
So I deliberately, like, I know that when I dance, I am like in heaven. I just went out and danced. People looked at me like, she crazy. And I'm thinking, you don't even know the half of it. You haven't seen me yell because the only reason I don't yell outside is now because of the race thing. I don't want them to call the law. That's why I'm not yelling outside. That's why I miss live events where you can yell and everything like that. You know, I'm thinking the first live event I can go to,
You're gonna be.
I'm there.
It's one of the things I love about you. It's one of my first memories of you too. Is I don't even know what you were yelling, but it was pure joy, and it was just absolutely delightful. I just. Lucky, you are so, I love it, right? I love the work you're doing because you are walking your talk 100%. And that's a beautiful thing to be in the presence of. And I think that's what we feel. You know, you didn't really even have to say all of this because it's who you are. But I'm glad you said it because you said a lot of really, really important things tonight. And we have to go. But I I just am so grateful to you. I feel as if you're, the reason I said church is it's like, I just feel like there's so much that wants to come out of you, right? That's just truth and beauty and love. And wow, do we need that?
Yes,
Wow,
we do.
do we
Yes,
need
we
that?
do. Yes, we do.
I am so grateful because I know it's not just right here. You're going to go, right? And tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. This is who you are. This isn't an act. This isn't something you put on for tonight.
No, ma'am. It's me.
It's you. I know it.
There's no wig. There's no hat. Just the head.
I know. Oh my goodness. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I know how busy you are. Your time was so valuable here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Andy, it's nice to see you.
Yes, nice to see you.
Folake, mwah.
Mwah.
Until we meet again and I get to hear you squeal with delight, okay?
Thank you so much. God bless.
Love you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.